The new light that we have over the tank for the mangroves has grown a bit of algae inside of the aquarium. As you guys can see, we have a new light coming as the main reef light. We're supposed to be getting another new sight K7 Pro, just like we have over the 38 gallon here. So we're gonna have that new light coming in, but in the meantime we need to do a water change on this aquarium. However, we do need to get some more fresh salt water, so let's head to the store and get some. We are at my local reefing store. So they do freshwater and saltwater. I'll show you guys once we get inside. It's kind of hard to see, but it's called the Love Aquarium in Escondido, Southern California. Let's go check it out. So this is mainly why I really like this store. It's because they do consignment aquariums. So you can come in here and pretty much pick up any size used aquarium that you'd want. Now there's a ton of different brands in here, and rimmed or rimless, but I like the fact that you're able to choose from used tanks and just see the kind of different brands that are out there on the market. It's really hard not to come in here and try to buy a tank every time I come to the store. However, I am always on the look for innovative marine or just specialty brand tanks, but I don't see any today. Alright, and a day later we got our salt water. It didn't take a day to get the water, but we had a couple hiccups, so we are here filming a day later. We're gonna go ahead and get the water change done on the mangrove tank, and then I'm gonna run through how we have it set up because it's quite simple. Alrighty, tank is clean and the water change is done. Let's go ahead and run through the very basic 20-gallon mangrove tank. Pretty much just going to come at it like a build breakdown and let you guys know what equipment I'm running and pretty much the simple maintenance regimen that I have for this tank. So this is an Innovative Marine 20-gallon Nuvo. This is one of their nano size all-in-ones. Innovative Marine is pretty common, so if you guys don't know about it, you should get familiar because these are some great tanks. I actually just picked up another one today, the day that we're filming. So if you guys want to see what that is, then be sure to subscribe and stay tuned. But 20-gallon Innovative Marine for the mangrove tank. It does not have a lid on it, but we do have the lid, of course, for this tank. There are no fish in it, so I'm not worried about anything jumping out. Since this tank is an all-in-one, the filtration is built into the back of the tank. So this little back black section here, that is where you're going to hide all of your equipment as well as put any sort of filter material that you want to run for the tank. For my aquarium, we actually don't have any filter material at all. We don't run mechanical and we don't run chemical filtration. We might have some bio pellets or something like that in the back, but for other filter material, we don't run anything. We also have a random pump in the back. It's actually the one that came from my 38 gallon. It's gonna be a little shaky, but this tank right here, this pump that came with this tank is what we're running in the 20 gallons. So it does well for right now, but you know, honestly, it's not the best pump and it's not adjustable. For flow in the tank, we have, honestly, I can't even think of the brand name, Coral Life, something like that. It's a Petco power head, maybe like 325 gallons per hour. So nothing crazy, but it does stir up a little bit in the tank, which is nice. And it gets that flow around the corals because the only other source of flow is from the return pump, which already isn't strong off the rip. So we did have to throw in another power head, and it's nothing crazy, but it does the job as well. Tucked back here in the back of the tank, we've got a Fluval 50-watt heater. It's not going to focus, but we got a heater in the back, and that keeps the tank at a stable 77 degrees. Now, aside from lighting, that is the only equipment that we have running the tank. So no dosers, we don't have an auto top off, and just very minimal equipment. We've got the return pump for the filtration, power head for a little bit of flow, and the heater to keep stable heat in the aquarium. And we do top off the tank. We'll get into the maintenance a little bit later, but we top it off daily, so we're checked on that side, but we'll go into the maintenance here in a little bit. But I think moving on to the lighting, because this is probably going to be the most popular topic as well as the most controversial, so let's jump into it. For the main reef light, we've got a new Psych K7 Mini. It's a 60 watt fixture, I believe, and it's got adjustable spectrums through an app. It's a really fun light to use. It's not quite, I guess the spread's not quite big enough for this tank, so if you were to get a new Psych K7 Mini over a 20 gallon, I'd probably recommend getting two because they do kind of give off that spotlight effect. But nonetheless, it does well for the corals that are in this tank. And as you guys can see, we do have a second light over the tank. Even though it's not meant to grow coral, it's definitely growing some algae, so it's a very bright light. It's a 15 or 18 watt fixture that I got from Home Depot. It's one of their plant grow lights, and I just have it on like a custom mount that's attached to the stand. It's got a few different modes through it. I did post a video on this light, so if you guys want to see that, go back through my channel and check it out. I did a video specifically on this light, and I will do an update video here soon on how the mangroves are doing. But so far the light's been doing good coloration in the mangroves. It is growing a little bit of algae in the tank, but I think I just need to buff up my cleanup crew a little bit. Slowly transferring or transitioning into the topic of maintenance for this tank and the regimen. The lighting schedule for this tank, the main reef light stays on for about 12 hours a day. So it comes on at, I think, 10 a.m. and then it turns off at 9 p.m. So it's on for, what is that, 11 hours a day. But then the mangrove light we only have on for about half of that. So it's not on nearly as long as the main reef light. And we just recently started doing this because of the algae growth, but we need to put a timer on that light because it does not have a timer, so that we have it on a set schedule, turning off, 6, maybe even 5 hours a day. It's just supplemental lighting that we need. So you guys just saw me do a water change on this tank. However, it's been probably 2, maybe even 3 months since the last time I did a water change. So maintenance on this tank in terms of cleaning it, I clean the glass once, maybe twice a week, and get in there when I can with the toothbrush and pick out algae, things like that. But gravel vac and water change, I don't really have a set schedule on it. I do it maybe, once every few weeks or when I see fit. Like I said, we clean the glass about twice a week, but topping this tank off is about every other day, if not every day. So when I'm home, I'm constantly checking this aquarium to see where the water line is at. And if it needs to be topped off, then I will. It really depends, I feel like, on the day. So if it's really hot or humid, or if it's really hot or dry, then I feel like sometimes it'll evaporate a little bit more, which of course makes sense. But depending on the day, we'll top it off once every day or once every other day. So the maintenance on it's not too bad. We've got a little canister of water that we just top off in the back chamber. And aside from that, there's nothing else we really do to this tank. I've had these mangroves for roughly 6 months now. So this is the growth from, being a very small pod at about maybe 10 inches to growing to, 14 or 15 inches with about 6 leaves on each pod and a really good root system. So I'm not sure if this is the normal growth for these. This is the first time I've ever kept a mangrove, so I don't know if I just got kind of lucky on the first go. But so far it's been a really fun experience. It's actually one of my favorite things in this hobby, even though it's a plant, it's not even, coral, but super excited to get these things moved into a new home. We do have another tank that I will be revealing on the channel. Not sure how I want to set it up, so the mangroves might be going into a new home, but if not, they're rocking in the 20 gallon, and this is how we have it set up. If you guys have any questions about the tank setup or the mangroves, please leave it in the comments down below, or you can check out my other socials. Links are also in the description below. But with all that being said, I will catch you guys on the next one. Peace out.